Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'll wait for another minute or so. 96 people. I'll probably wait for another minute before we start. All right. What's the full strength of the class? I think around 180 odd, right?
Sir. 180.
Yeah. Right. So, again, good morning, all. So, I'm Vignesh. I'll be handling some topics for you. Okay. So, I'll be taking diodes, okay, special kinds of diodes. First, we'll start with rectifiers, okay, the use of rectifiers, and what are the different kinds of diodes that you have, what is the purpose of having those diodes. And then, at later stage, we'll discuss about a beautiful transistor called as a MOSFET, okay? And that's the transistor which is, just hold on a second. That's the transistor which you use in your mobile phones, okay? In your mobile phones, the SoC which you have is from that particular transistor, okay? It's designed using a MOSFET. Now we have started using FinFET technology, okay? So these are the topics which I as a faculty will cover, okay? Now before we start rectifiers, there are certain things which I would want to know if you already know about rectifiers. Do you know what is a rectifier? Do you know why it is used? So on and so forth. What are the things that you know about rectifiers?
To convert current from AC to DC.
Okay, great. All right. Anything else that you know about rectifiers? Did you have rectifiers taught to you before now? I mean, before I start teaching this class?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So, right. One of you told, I will not be using slide for the first class. Today is the first class, so I will not be using slides. Slides I'll start using from the next class. I would want to know where the class stands and how do you respond, because I want to gauge the class, how it is, and even you need time for understanding how I teach. Okay. So keeping all these things in mind, I'm not going to use the slides. I will display the slides and start writing on the slides. Okay. It's not the way which I am used to, but just for the first class, we'll do that. All right. So I've shared my screen. I hope you can see the slide. Can you see the slide? It's an empty slide. Can you see me writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, great. Okay. All right. So let's start with rectifiers. Okay, let us first understand why would anyone want to design a rectifier. So as humans, we try to design things only if it is useful to us. Okay, we don't do it just for the sake of doing it, right? By the way, why was diode? What is the point of using a diode? Why is diode such an important electronic component? Why do you think people invented diode? You can answer that question just by thinking what is. Sorry.
It allows the flow of current in one direction.
Excellent. It allows the flow of current in one direction, right? So when you have a diode, okay, and if it is forward biased, I hope you are, aware of these nomenclatures. So if it is forward biased, the diode will allow the current to flow from the positive terminal to the negative terminal of the diode, from anode to cathode, right? If it is reverse biased, there is no current which flows from negative to positive terminal. So the current flow is only in one direction, unidirectional. Okay. So you have to, whenever you require to engineer your circuit in such a way that you want to allow the current to flow only in one direction, you use a diode. You do not want the current to flow in other direction, but you want the current to flow only in a particular direction. You can use the diode. In that case, okay. So that's a beautiful thing about diode, right? Now, coming to the next question, why would you want to use a rectifier? Because someone told me that rectifiers are used to convert AC to DC. Excellent, that's a good answer. But why would you want to convert the AC signal to a DC? Any insights?
To minimize energy
For
loss.
some devices, we don't need AC, sir.
Sorry?
Sir, for charging
Like for
process,
some
we don't need
devices,
AC, sir.
we only need
For-
DCs.
So for like example, for charging,
Like-
we need AC currents.
For charging?
We need DC currents, sir.
And for inverters,
For charging, what do we need DC currents? What do you want to charge?
Sir, only DC
Sir, is
current
it
can be
for,
stored in a battery.
So any
So
electrical device
Only
like
DC
a
current can be
smartphone.
stored in a battery is one answer which I hear. Why? Why do you want to store something in a battery?
So
That's a
that
good
sir,
answer.
we need even DC for, we need even
Sorry?
DC for inverters, sir. We need even
Mm-mm.
inverters.
Okay.
Inverter.
Okay. You're telling the applications, but
So the
okay. So
AC
let me
signals cannot
understand
store.
what you just told. So from whatever I'm hearing, from whatever answers that I'm hearing, you're telling that you use DC to store it somewhere, right? Maybe in inverters, maybe in batteries. Why do you want to store the voltage or maybe current or maybe power? Why do you want to store?
Sir, for future use of that power.
Very good. Very good. For future use. Where would you use it? Let's say battery. Where are you using the battery?
So we can use
remote.
depends. Smartphone also has battery, and then in our
See, the
house also there
question
is
may look
battery.
very yeah. So the question may look very simple or simplistic, but there is a reason why I want you to answer all these, because you would know why would you want to store. Okay, so where tell me the places where you start. Where you use batteries.
Inverters,
Sir,
chargers.
where we need to use regularly, we need regular power supply. There we should use battery, sir.
What is the power supply which you are getting at your house? Is it AC or DC?
AC, sir.
It is AC, no? But why are you telling that wherever we need regular power supplies, we use DC? What is the point of having a DC?
Sir, for storing we use battery, and that is stored in
Because
DC
from
form.
your
But
sockets, sockets, house sockets, what is the kind of voltage that you AC voltage, right? Yes.
what, sir?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for someone to answer. So where would you use the batteries, or where would you use the energy which is stored? Just name appliances, whatever you know of. Okay, you told someone told me. Yeah, where would you use the batteries? Please go on. I'll write.
Control toys, sir. Some remote control toys.
Voice is breaking. Can you repeat? Sorry.
Some remote control toys.
Okay, remote control toys. Very good. Oh, next. I'll write. Okay, go on. Where are you using these stored voltages? Remote control toys. Very good.
Sir,
Next.
cars.
Cars. Okay. Next.
Watches, sir.
Electrical appliances.
Watches.
Laptops.
Next.
TV remote.
Laptops. Excellent.
Mobile phones.
Very good. Mobile phones. I think I'll stop. I'll stop. I think this is sufficient. Okay. Now, if I ask you to club this in one particular group, how would you call this group as?
Electric appliances.
Electrical appliances, is it? Do you use, what are the electrical appliances that you know? Geyser is an electrical appliance. Iron box is an electrical appliance. Do you use DC there? Do you use battery?
No. No, sir.
So what kind of appliance is this?
Electronic appliance.
Exactly. These are electronic gadgets or electronic appliances. Electronic appliances or gadgets, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, wherever you need an wherever you're using an electronic appliance, the food for the electronic appliance is DC. You cannot give an AC signal. Try doing it for your laptop without the adapter. Insert a wire into the power supply and directly give it to your laptop and see what happens to the laptop. Your mobile phones, you have a charger for it, right? You read the charger configuration. Adapter converts AC to DC. Wherever you have an electronic component or a gadget or an appliance, you need DC power supply. Just as we eat food, the food for the electronic component or gadget is DC. So as electronic engineers, we need to know what exactly is DC, and that is the reason why we convert the AC to DC. We don't do it just for the sake of fun. Yes.
Sir, what about television, sir?
Television, absolutely. It's again a DC. You have an adapter for it. Right? The LCD and LED televisions which are coming out now needs adapter. The televisions which we were using when I was small didn't need, it was considered as an electrical appliance. So you can have in an electrical appliance, you have electronic components. For example, washing machine, it is an electrical appliance, but you have electronic components used inside an electrical appliance. Those need DC power supply, and you have a small regulators inside these particular equipments, electrical equipments. Say, for example, your car, your electric vehicle, right? Now, again, your car perfectly runs on DC. Okay, it does not require any AC. But say, for example, your geyser, for displaying numbers in your geyser, obviously that is an electronic component which is required. So you use a small electronic component, a small regulator which converts from AC to DC inside the electrical appliance. But broadly, you should be able to tell which is an electrical appliance and which is an electronic appliance. Wherever the power supply required is DC, you call it as an electronic appliance. Am I making sense? Did you understand what I just told? Someone asked this question. Who asked this? Who asked this question? Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is the reason it's very important for you to understand that you need to convert the AC power supply to DC. Okay, as the first learning of your electronics, it's mandatory that you need a DC signal. Okay, so for converting an AC to DC, I hope you know the difference between AC and DC. Okay, let me draw. The AC signal is an oscillating signal. Okay, if this is time and this is considered as voltage, okay, it's a sinusoidal signal. It varies with time. At each instant of time, you have different values. At each instant of time, you have different values. Okay, whereas your DC signal, if I plot a DC signal, your DC signal with respect to time is a constant value. It does not vary with respect to time. Maybe a constant 2 volts or 12 volts or 4 volts or 3 volts, so on and so forth. All right. And the food for any electronic component or any electronic gadget is your DC power supply. You cannot give AC as the source. Very important to understand. Okay, that's the reason we are studying something called as a rectifier. That is the reason why someone came up with an idea of a rectifier. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes.
right. So let us look at, yes.
So only for the AC to DC only we use rectifier. So for washing machines and all those things, we use direct.
Sorry?
For washing machines and all those things, we use direct current input now, sir. Like AC only.
See, that is the reason I told. See, when you have this, if you're considering this as an electrical equipment or electrical appliance or electrical gadget, you can have a small component of electronic component inside it. No one stops you. Okay, there you will use a rectifier, which for your display and all, for the displays in your washing machine, it is very important that you need a DC component, a DC voltage for the display. Okay, so you use a small, electronic component. So you use a DC power supply for this particular electronic component. But in general, the entire appliance is an electrical appliance. No, just because you can see display in your washing machine, can you give a DC power supply to your washing machine and expect it to run? It won't run. Is it clear?
So it means like the digital thing also will work on with the input power only, no, sir.
Sir, the power supply which comes to your house is AC or DC, sir? It is AC, right?
Yes.
Now, from that AC, you have to convert it into DC for your electronic component or your electronic appliances. You directly use the AC if it is an electrical appliance.
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Whenever you use an electronic gadget, of course you need an adapter. Think of any electronic component or gadget you can know of. You will use an adapter. If not, your electronic component will not run. But any electrical appliance, your geyser, your iron box, your fan or anything only requires direct AC signal. All right. Okay. Let us not spend a lot of time on this because I think you should know. You should catch by now. Okay. So let us first understand how is a rectifier built? Okay, so the input, of course, is an AC. Okay, input cannot be DC because you want to convert AC to DC. So of course, input will be an AC, right? And say you have a diode. Okay, and you have a load. This load can be anything. Okay, you have a circuit like this. This can be grounded. It need not be grounded. Doesn't matter. Now, if you're asked, what is the output voltage across the resistor RL, you should be able to analyze. Okay. Now, before analyzing this, let me ask you a question. Let me give a DC input. I'll rub this. I can't write a small. Sorry. I hope you know the nomenclatures. If it is capital, it is DC. If it is small, it is AC, right? You know that, right? You know the difference, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the difference?
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, so can you tell me how does this circuit work? When will this circuit work? When the input voltage, assume that the diode is non-ideal, okay? Assume that the diode is a silicon diode. I'm asking these questions because these are things which has already been covered in your syllabus, right? So it's a silicon diode. So silicon diode has a diode voltage of how much?
0.7.
Cut-in voltage of 0.7 volts, right? So how will this circuit work? If your input voltage, which is a DC, this is the DC symbol, okay, a battery symbol, DC symbol, okay? If your DC voltage is 0.6 volts, what is the output?
0 volts.
It is 0. If DC input is 0.7 volts, then the diode will start conducting, right? Ideally speaking, your output voltage will be same as input voltage, but practically speaking, your output voltage will be V in minus 0.7 volts. Am I right? So if your input voltage is 1 volt, you will end up getting 1 minus 0.7 volts, which is 0.3 volts as the output voltage. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I can write KVL in that loop, right? I need not teach you KVL. Do I need to teach you KVL?
No, sir. No, sir.
It's not required, right? Okay. Okay. So I wanted to know that. If it is required, I'll be happy to teach you. Just let me know. Anyone wants me to write the equation for this loop? If there is no answer, then I'll assume it's not required. Okay, great. I don't think so it's required, right? In the same way, instead of this, me giving a DC voltage at the input, if I give an AC voltage at the input, how would my circuit behave? Let us try to understand. What is AC? So I'll redraw the circuit here again. Okay. Okay. This is your diode, silicon diode. The input voltage is this. Okay. So let me try to plot what is my output voltage. Output voltage is across RL. Let me plot the input voltage first. Okay. My input voltage, as you know, is a sinusoidal voltage. Let me draw only 1.5 cycles. Okay, because there is no space anyways. Now, if I ask you to plot the output voltage for the input, what you're seeing, can you help me plot? What happens if the input is at 0 volts? What is the output?
Zero.
0. Of course, right? If my input is 0.1 volt, what is the output?
Zero.
0.2, 0, 0.3, 0, 0.4, 0, 0.5, 0, 0.6, 0, 0.7 starts conducting. So it starts conducting exactly at
0.7.
0.7 volt. Till that point, what is my output voltage?
Zero.
It is 0. Okay, let me take the peak values of the output. Okay, the peak value is, let us take this as 2 volts and -2. It is not up to the scale. Okay, ignore that. It's not up to the scale. Don't argue telling sir 0.7 is here and 2 volts is there. Okay, that's not the point. Right. So your output voltage is 0 till 0.7, and beyond that, what would your output voltage be? At 0.8, when the input voltage is 0.8, can you tell me what is your output?
0.1.
0.1.
It is V in minus 0.7, right? So it is 0.8 minus 0.7. It is 0.1 volts, right? Am I right? So
Yes, sir.
your output is going to follow. If this is 2 volts, let us say your input is 2 volts. What is your output?
1.3.
1.3.
2 minus 0.7 would be 1.3, right? So you will end up getting an output which looks something like this. So till again 0.7, which is somewhere here, you get an output which looks like this and a flat line here. When this is when V in is greater than 0. That is in the positive half cycle. That is in the entire positive half cycle, you end up getting an output which looks something like this, what I've drawn. Is it clear? Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the negative half cycle, what is the output voltage? Do we need to even analyze that? It's not required, no? Because negative half cycle means for the entire half cycle, my input voltage is less than 0. I am 100% sure that the diode is not going to be forward biased. Right? If the diode is not forward biased, I know for sure that my output voltage is 0. Can I tell that for a fact that the output voltage is 0 for the entire negative half cycle?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Why is it 0 and why is it not any other value? See,
Sir, because it will not conduct.
yeah, so if this is open circuit, I mean, if this is open, there is no path for the current to flow. I mean, the current flowing through RL is 0. If the current flowing through RL is 0, the voltage, the node voltage at this point is 0. It is, since it is grounded, so it is 0. I hope you know that. All right. So let me plot for the negative half cycle. So for the entire negative half cycle, that is till this point, my output is 0. Again, in the next positive half cycle, till 0.7 volts, maybe till this point, my output still remains 0, and it is going to follow the same way as I plotted for this. So I'm going to plot again very roughly in the next page, both output and input. So if this is my input, my output is going to look something like this. Am I right? The one which I've drawn in red is the input. The one which I drew in blue is our output, and the x-axis is time. Is this right? Is this right? Can I draw this? See, purposely I may make a mistake and convince you that this is right, okay? You have to think. Don't agree to whatever your teacher is telling. Okay, you should challenge him or her at every instant of time. You are here to ensure that you learn, okay? So just do not agree with whatever I tell. Okay, unless it makes sense, you need not agree. Is this right? So, I mean, at every instant of time in the positive half cycle, so I'll write, okay? So if V in is greater than 0, my V out would be equals V in minus 0.7 volts. Am I right with this statement? If V in is greater than 0, V out will be equals V in minus 0.7 volts. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
No, I
V
am
in should
not
be greater
right.
than 0.7, sir.
Excellent. If V in is greater than 0.7 volts. That is why I told you should not agree with whatever I tell. If V in is greater than 0.7 volts, V out will be equals V in minus 0.7. Is this right? Because when V in is greater than 0, let me take V in as 0.1 volts. Will V out be minus 0.6 volts? Of course not, no? It won't be, right? So if V in is greater than 0.7 volts, your V out will be equals V in minus 0.7. And if V in is less than 0.7 volts, V out equals 0. I hope all of you are writing in a book. I hope all of you have maintained a notebook for this subject. Very, very important. Okay, I cannot stress enough how important this subject is going to be for your remaining semesters. All right. See, unfortunately, everything is happening online. Okay, classroom teaching is, I mean, you are missing classroom teaching big time, and even we as faculty members are missing classroom teaching. Unfortunately, the only way that we are teaching is online, this way. There is no substitute to classroom teaching. Okay, that I mean, all of us are very clear. Okay, but since there is no other go, there is no other way of checking if the student is following or not. It is left to the student's motivation if he or she is listening to the class. If you're not listening to the subject, in the next 2 semesters or next 4 semesters, you are going to struggle in all the electronic courses which you will undergo. Okay, that I am assuring. If you ignore the basics and you tell that I will start studying from the next semester, that will not happen. Engineering is a continuous process. You sleep in one semester, you will struggle in the next semester. Since you are only in the second semester, I'm advising you that please be motivated. All right. At no point of time, you should, I mean, lose your motivation. You don't need motivation from your teacher or your friends or probably from your parent. Okay. I hope I'm clear. All right.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, always we use silicon only or we use germanium?
No, we can use any diode. I mean, generally, usually speaking, we use only silicon because silicon is abundantly available. Okay, it's available in sand, right? It's all about the availability. Okay. See, finally, what I mean, in electronics or probably in any field, what dictates the I mean, the way that you start using a particular component is the monetary benefit that you get out of it. Okay, if it is cheap, then obviously you use silicon. Germanium is better actually, in fact, because the voltage is only 0.3 volts, right? The drop would be around 0.3 volts. But unfortunately, that's slightly expensive than silicon. So people start using silicon because it's cheap. And it's available at PMP. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, for more, I mean, for factory purposes also, they use silicon on this.
See, I'll give you an example. Say if someone is selling a mobile phone for 5 lakhs, okay, and whose processor speed is probably 10% higher than the processing speed that you end up getting with a phone of 50,000. Of course, the percentage is higher, but would you shell out 5 lakhs for the phone? Of course not, right? Doesn't make any sense to shell out 10 times the higher money for 10% increase in speed, right? I hope you are getting the point. Okay, so this is what this is how the rectifier works. Okay, this is the circuit for your half-wave rectifier, and this is the output that you end up getting. Now you can tell, sir, cheating. You told the DC voltage, see output, what you're getting is looks something like this, no? It looks something like this. But sir, you told that DC voltage is constant with respect to time. Where is this constant, sir? Of course, you're absolutely right. This is not constant voltage. It varies with respect to time. So this is not exactly called as DC. This is called as pulsating DC. Okay. The rectifier output is called as pulsating DC. We'll read how to make it a constant DC voltage. Okay. The final goal is to end up getting an output voltage which is constant like this. But as of now, as a first step, what you have done is you end up getting an output which looks something like this. Final goal is to end up getting an output which looks something like this. Okay. All right. By the end of the course, you should probably know how to end up getting that. Clear? So the output what you're getting is not exactly a DC voltage. The output what you're getting is called as pulsating DC output. So the output of a rectifier is called as a pulsating DC. I hope you're writing. Okay. Very important. Right. So now the next question. If I ask you to plot the transfer characteristic of the circuit, I hope all of you know what is a transfer chara. Transfer chara, if you don't know, is output plotted with respect to input. For that, again, I write if Vin is less than 0.7 volts, Vout is 0. If Vin is greater than if Vin is greater than 0.7 volts, Vout is Vin minus 0.7. Right? So how do you plot that? So one thing is for sure, Vin is less than 0.7 volts, Vout is 0. So in the entire negative, so Vin in the left hand side means it is less than 0 volts, right? This is 0. This is the origin. So for the entire thing, it is 0. Output voltage is 0. Till what point? Till 0.7 volts. Beyond which you end up getting a transfer chara which looks something like this. So this is the transfer characteristic of your half wave rectifier. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Great. Hold on a second. If you have any doubts till now, you please ask.
Sir, in full wave rectifier also after 0.7 only it will increase now, sir.
Sorry?
In full wave rectifier also after 0.7 only it will increase now, sir.
Full wave rectifier also? Yes, after 0.7 only it will work.
Yes, sir.
Right. So in your fourth semester, you will encounter a course called as linear integrated circuits. Okay. In that course, we'll teach you how you can design a rectifier which starts working from zero. Here, there is a 0.7 voltage loss, right? But ideally, what do you want? Your output voltage should be same as your input voltage in the positive half cycle, but that's not happening. Your output voltage equals V in minus 0.7. There is a loss there, which is happening, right? It is a loss that nobody is denying. So even in full wave rectifier also, you end up getting that way only. But full wave rectifier is slightly better than half wave rectifier in a lot of other parameters, which we'll discuss. Okay, but I want you to understand the half wave rectifier very clearly. Is it clear? Half wave rectifier. If you have any doubts, please ask me. I'll give you 2 minutes for the class. Please ask if you have any doubts on half wave rectifier.
Sir, so always when we use only one rectifier, it will give the pulsating DC as the output now, sir.
Can you please repeat?
So when we use only one rectifier means it will only, it will change the AC into pulsating DC only now, sir. We use one rectifier.
Yes. See, even a full wave rectifier is again converting an AC to pulsating DC. It is not converting it into a pure DC signal. Okay. You will study how to ensure that the pulsating DC becomes a DC, the usual, the constant voltage, how to convert a pulsating DC into a constant voltage, that you will study later in the course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But full wave rectifier is slightly better than half wave rectifier in the sense that even in the negative half cycle, you end up getting a pulse. That we'll see. That we'll see in the class tomorrow. Okay. But I want you to understand the half wave rectifier clearly. Is this understood? Is a half wave rectifier understood? Anyone has any doubt in a half wave rectifier functionality?
No, sir.
Okay, no. Okay. Right. Now coming to, since this is the first class, I have to ask, any changes that you want in the way that I'm delivering the lecture? Is whatever, see, whatever I'm writing on the slide, is it visible? Is it legible? Or is there a lag between what I write and what you see? Because these are important things that I would want to know before we proceed to the next classes, okay? Any changes in the way that I'm delivering the course?
Sir, if possible, while dictating some important points before only we will tell, sir, could you know,
Sorry?
if possible, sir, possible when you dictate some important points before that once you, warn, sir, like note down.
Okay, so see, again, I have this habit, maybe I'll keep that in mind, but it's, you should be able to gauge what is important and what is not important as a student, okay? You have, all of you are adults now, right? All of you are above 18, right? You are in a situation where you should be able to understand what is important, what is not important. Again, the school days are over now, right? All these dictating things will not happen. Okay, at least in my class. I'm very sorry. I will not dictate or I will not tell what is important, what is not important. Okay, for me, whatever I teach, everything is important. Okay, that's the reason I'm teaching, right? So any topic which is told, I mean, whatever I speak is important. Okay, that is something which you have to keep in mind. Okay, so I hope I'm clear. But still, if you want, I mean, there is no, and the teaching is not going to happen examination point of view at all. Okay, so what I mean is, I mean, here what I teach, the same concepts will be asked in the exam, but the numericals will be different. So important, not important thing, I think you should come out of that. Okay, we are past that stage, right? So I mean, think of it as conceptual learning. Okay, what is important is you should know a concept. You should know the concept in and out. Okay, and you should be curious enough to know why certain things are important and what are the things which you need to know. Okay, so I'll be teaching that way. Right. Any other feedback? Any other things that you would want me to do? But this is something which I'll keep in mind because again, the transition should happen slowly. I'll tell you. I mean, for example, if I have to tell what is important, so these two are very, very important for a half-wave rectifier. If you know these two things, then your job is done. There's nothing else that you need to know for a half-wave rectifier, right? So these are important. You should be writing this. You should be writing whatever I write on the slide. Okay. Yes. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any other feedback from your side? Because you have to tolerate me for maybe another 8 classes or 4 classes or 6 classes, depending on how quick we go. It's of course not 4, it'll be 8, around 8. And after that, I'll again come back. Right. So it is very pertinent that you point out if you're not comfortable with some things. Even you as students should get used to the teaching, right? Any feedback or is it fine?
Fine, sir.
Okay. All right. Then see you in the next class because again we are 12:33. It's already 12:33. So we'll see you in the next class. Okay. Any doubts with respect to half-wave rectifier? I'll be in the class till 12:35. You may please ask. Did you receive attendance assignment? Yes, I think Bhavna
Yes.
Manas.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll be in the meeting till 12:35. If you have any doubts or clarifications or anything, any feedback, you can just let me know.
Sir,
Yes.
so if we connect the LED across this half-wave rectifier output, then
Yes.
it will be glowing for some time and off for some time like that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No? Okay, sir.
We look at LED as a special diode also. Okay. That is something which I will teach also in the class.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
After rectifiers, we'll cover that as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. I will leave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, please stop the recording, sir.